One Paul here. Today I'm going to be talking about a strategy when it comes to trading it. We're going to look at this in two different point of views. First is doing it with options trading, and the next is just trading it. And personally, what I would do before I even get into MicroStrategy is I would find other stocks, a little bit cheaper, because you will find out the MicroStrategy doing it with options is pretty expensive, especially if you're going to be doing in-the-money contracts. We'll look at that on here, but it is really expensive if you want to be precise and get good results with it. My recommendation, do in-the-money contracts, which we'll look at, but they range from anywhere from, to get good results, you're going to get like 5,000 to 6,000 for a contract. So we'll look at that. But we'll also look at another scenario to where you can just trade it. And I did this a couple days ago where I didn't do options, but I just traded MicroStrategy, and I ended up making I made some gains out of it. So I'll show you the way of doing it. But in order, if you don't want to do MicroStrategy, and if you just want to do options, the alternative to this would be to find other stocks that you can do options trading with, are a little bit cheaper, and kind of work your way up until you can afford those contracts for MicroStrategy. But I'm not going to be talking about that today. Today, I want to kind of go over the formula of how much it costs to do an option contract with them. But, if you don't have the funds to do because it is pretty expensive, the next alternative to doing MicroStrategy, how to profit from both different ways, by trading it and by doing options. We'll look at both ways today. Okay, so we got two different ways here. Let me show you guys my setup real quick before I begin. Now, this setup is new as of a couple days ago. Recently, I just went by this, and let's go to where's my RSI? Do I have RSI on here? No, let's put RSI on here too. You want to include them with these setups. Okay, here we go. So the setup goes, and I talk about this in many videos, this is my main default setting that I do when it comes to trading, especially with options. Now, the old videos, what I told you is you look at the RSI, and basically I focus either on the hour, the daily, or the weekly, if you're doing options. But if you do it on, I'm not going to go into it, but if you do weekly, you're going to have to wait a while. But, watch that video. Anyway, you wait for moments when the RSI is crossing up. So you see down there in the bottom where the purple line is crossing through. That is a good indication of getting in. So if you were to do an option trade, you would enter at that point, and then you basically would write it out. So that is an example of doing it on the hour. So if you took this trade alone and you wrote it out till the top, this would have been a $52 difference in price. So we're looking at since it's about $100 for every dollar, this trade right here is probably about $5,269. If you managed to do an in-the-money contract with trading, that trade right there would have been about $5,000. So let me show you the extra. Now, this is a new indicator that I add to my strategy. It's called Order Block Finder. So if you go to your indicators here, and you just type in order. I don't have this saved here. I think it's this one right here. So put a star on it. Order Block Finder, you leave it as default. What this will do is it will help you find the bullish moments and the bearish moments, and it's pretty accurate, and it's pretty accurate on the signal. So if you can see that it crosses right here with the RSI, you also see that it's giving you a bullish signal as well. So that is a double confirmation. So in this mindset, I want to show you guys what to do if you just want to trade MicroStrategy, and you all beginner people would have to probably do this because the contracts, and we'll look at the option contracts and how much they average. But if you don't have enough on your to buy the contract, you're going to have to settle with trying to day trade it. So what do you do when you day trade it? Well, you have to look for the moments when it's going up. When you're day trading MicroStrategy, you can get pretty good percentage gains. And I did this a couple days ago, and I made about $100 by I made $100 for just trading MicroStrategy, and I did it for a day. So I basically went in and I found moments where it was going up. So that's to do this without options. You would have to go in and look for all the moments of it going up. So we have that example right here. So let's look at this in a mindset of without doing options. So we're going to look at a couple patterns here. We're going to look at this with the mindset of not doing options. Okay, so if we came in right here, and if you come in to trade it, you could last longer because, you know, you can last longer in your trade because there's no expiration here. So you could ride this out from here to here, and that would have been a 20% increase on your money. So you could take a small balance. Now keep in mind that if you day trade, my personal goal is if you day trade it, I would try to shoot for about 500 a week at least by day trading it. That way it can kind of act as an income, a job income. You can make about 500 a week, because keep in mind, if you sell, like if I took this trade right here, if I took this trade and I wrote it out, here, and I got an 18%, let's say I had $1,000 and I made an 18%, I would have made $180. So that's quite not enough for a week, because once you sell it with a cash account, it's going to take 3 to 4 days for it to enter your account again. So I try to shoot for at least a $500 profit, because at least weekly you'll be making some decent returns there. So just do that math on your own when you day trade it. But with this formula here, let's look at a couple scenarios for the mindset of somebody that just wants to trade it. And we'll look at the mindset of a trader, and we'll look at the mindset of somebody that wants to do options. Now, these moments where they go down, you can get in for these trades right here. And if you use these indicators, they'll show you exactly when to get in and when to get out. Bullish right here, bearish right here. This is a 5%. So not quite enough to make 500 a week, in my opinion. How much would you need to make, say, $10,000 times 5%? Yeah, you would need at least $10,000 to make 500 on that low profit right there. So if you don't have about 10 grand to trade these small ones, your percentage gains would have to be a little bit bigger. Let's look at a couple. I just want to look at the percentages that someone can make by just trading this. Okay, here's a good one right here. Okay, so if you came in here to trade this and you just rode it out to up here, this is a 33%. So I want to kind of get this in perspective of somebody that just has a little bit of money and just wants to trade it. So if you have $100 and that's 33%, you made $33. If you have $1,000 and you traded it, that's $333. So you can make pretty decent returns by just trading MicroStrategy. So what I want to do now is show you what you need to do to be in profit to do options trading with MicroStrategy. And I'll show you the big difference between just day trading it and doing options with it. So, okay, so what I want to do is show you the recommended price points of doing options trading with MicroStrategy. And like I said at the beginning of the video, the contracts are expensive, especially if you're doing in the money. So let's just look at a call here. So I focus, when doing MicroStrategy, I focus on in the money, because in the money will get you into profit faster. Because now, one thing you want to be clear of is, I would personally, what I would do is I would practice day trading MicroStrategy. I would practice it a couple times, a couple weeks, and I would take note of what your percentage gains are. When you're day trading MicroStrategy, you can only do it when it goes up. So I would take note of what my percentage gains are when you're trading MicroStrategy, because if you get good at trading just normally with MicroStrategy, you're going to do good when you're doing options, because it's the same thing. The same thing, the only difference is you're buying a contract. So if you get good at day trading it, you'll be good with doing options trading. With the only difference is with options trading, you can do both ways. So get good at day trading MicroStrategy, and take note of what your percentage gains are while you're doing that. So let's look at the options contracts here. So, like I was saying, I do in the money, and the reason I do in the money, and you see now this scenario, you see the scenario when you're doing a call. That's because right now it's probably predicted to go down. So let's look at puts. Okay, here we go. The price is probably predicted, because let's look at it right now. Let's look at where it is. It's predicted to it's probably going to start shooting down on Monday morning, which is probably why the prices are pretty big here. So what I do is I set a budget for at least $5,000 to $6,000 for in the money, and that is like my goal, because if you don't have 5 to 6, you're not going to make any kind of big profit here. So let's just trail back here to a 5 or 6 thousand contract here. Let's look at here. We see right here, this would have been a 5,000 option contract. Right? Let's see what our result would be. What you want to look for is, you want your little break-even point to get as close to that white dot as possible, because as soon as it does, you'll be more in the money, and you'll make your money faster, if you are reading charts and you're doing it correctly. So personally, I wouldn't even do this one yet. I probably would go a little bit further. I would probably go 5,000. Let's look at that one. Well, yeah, we'll see that one. Maybe I might do the $500 put here, or maybe even the 510 put, if I have it in. Because if we see right here, let's look at our percentage here. Let's see. It doesn't really give us any other stats, but with this one, I would shoot for this one. This one would cost $5,885. They are not cheap. When you're doing in the money, you're probably going to be if you can read the charts like I'm showing you, you can probably practice first with day trading it, but you'll probably be in profit. Not a guarantee, but if you follow my formula, you should do pretty good for yourself. Let's look at the next option available. Oh yeah, here we go. Bare minimum here, $6,850. I said they were not cheap, so that's why you have to day trade. You either have to day trade MicroStrategy, or you have to choose another stock to do options with and grow it that way. You cannot start off doing MicroStrategy with options within the money, because they are expensive. So right here we see this would be probably a good one to do. if you have it, if you have the money for it. And if you look at the charts and you get the signal. So from what it looks like right now, I would wait until my order block finder had printed out a bearish signal here. But anyway, these are the prices right now of let's see where you would be in profit right now if you took this one as a contract. So if we wrote this out, and let's just kind of see real quickly previously how much you can actually bank. Now, if you rode this entire one out here, you have your bullish signal right here. You have a bullish signal right now, and it's passing through the RSI. Everything looks good. So if you rode it out from here all the way to, well, that's 8 days. We want to do 7 days because those are contracts. 7 days. 9 days. Let's just do, we got to do 6 days. 4 days. Let's just do 4 days. Okay, so 4 days worth. Come on. 4 days. Here we go. 4 days, there was a $44 difference in price. So let's look real quickly on the options here. What a $44 difference in price means. Okay, so right here, when you would put in your put, let's take away 456 by 44. 456, take away 44. So the price would have gone down to 412. In that scenario, the price would have gone down to 412. So let's see if it picks it up. Price would have gone down to 412. 412. It doesn't even register. Now, what I can predict here is, just by knowing these numbers, is you make $100 for every dollar that you're right. So, with a $44 difference in price, that is about, let's see, that's about $4,400. So let's just look at a couple other scenarios previously. Now, this is on a option trading mindset now. So let's just look real quick. You wait for there to print a bullish signal with the order block. You want to look and make sure that the RSI, the purple line, is shooting through the RSI, and you get a bullish or bearish signal. And you come in right here, and let's see how much this one would have been. Okay, so this is roughly 6 days. This is a $58 difference in price, so this is a $5,829 move with option trading. This is how you can make a lot of money doing MicroStrategy. And I have to look at it, but I want to definitely look at Tesla too, because I think Tesla you can probably make about the same. But I definitely want to look into Tesla. But let's just do a couple other scenarios here. Okay, so we see right here that the RSI, the RSI is pushing through. We have our bullish signal right here. So let's just see how much this small one is. See, right here we have bullish to bearish, and it flat out just tells you right here. This is another $31 difference in price. So this move in 6 hours is a $3,144 move in 6 hours. So let's look at some other scenarios. Let's look at a bearish scenario here. I'll do this a couple more times. Okay, so we have our bearish signal here, so we see that the RSI is pushing down, and we see a bearish signal here as well, so this is a good move to get in. And we come in here to here. This is another $44 difference in price. That is a $4,391 difference in value in 2 days. Making $4,000 in 2 days. Okay, I'm going to do this one more time for you guys. I'm going to get you guys a good one here, a good bearish signal here. So let's look at our RSI. That's the first thing we do. See the RSI, it's shooting down from it, and we get our bearish signal right here. So we come in here, around here, we put our order in for in the money. You're going to do an in the money put. These are all in the money, so you got to put that into consideration here. You write out from here to here. This is 6 days. It's a $39 difference in price. You make $100 for every dollar that you write, so this is a $3,957 gain. So anyway, okay, so you can see that trading with MicroStrategy is a pretty good way to make money. Now, a lot of people do not have $5,000 to $6,000 to do an option contract. My personal opinion is to do in-the-money contracts because you'll make your gains a lot faster, especially if you're following the formula that I'm using. Now, this is the formula that I use to do my trades. If you guys do it yourself, it doesn't mean that you'll get the same results. This is for entertainment purposes only, not financial advice. But if you follow the formula where you look at the RSI, you look at your order block, you see the signals, it should return with some pretty good results there. But if you cannot afford those option contracts for MicroStrategy, what I would recommend people do is to find cheaper. You can do two things. You can either day trade MicroStrategy, but keep in mind that if you're day trading MicroStrategy, you're going to get these percentage gains, 20, 30%. So I personally would want to see a like at least a 500 a week gain. You do the math on your own, but if you get like a 20 to 30% gain, based off of what you have. So I would like to see at least 500 a week just doing that, because keep in mind that when you do sell on a trade with on Robinhood, you have to wait maybe 3 or 4 days before it shows back up in your account. So there's that. And the $100 gain that I got, I have to wait, I think, till Monday or Tuesday before it even shows up in my account. But I would look for at least 500 a week if you were just trading MicroStrategy. The only other alternative to this strategy is to find other stocks that are cheaper. What I focus on when doing options is I'm focused on McDonald's, there's Coca-Cola, and there's SPY. There's a lot of other ones that are cheaper, but even with the ones that are cheaper, I still shoot for in the money. Just like I showed you with MicroStrategy, I still shoot for in the money, so it's still going to cost a little bit more, but it won't be as much as the MicroStrategy in the money cost. But anyway, this is the formula that I use to pretty much day trade MicroStrategy and eventually do options trading with MicroStrategy. And it's what I use for my strategy to do options trading for the other stocks. So I find this formula works really well. Again, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Do your own research. This is for entertainment purposes only. Anyway, if you guys like this video, if you found it helpful, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I'll see you guys in future videos.